Have you ever asked yourself how farmers persevere through enduring droughts and changing climates? Where do they find food to sustain their families after persistent crop failures? What source of income do they rely on to meet their needs when there are no crops to be sold? These issues are realities for many families in Kenya who depend on agriculture for a livelihood. Climate change is only increasing the problems that farmers face. With the increasing frequency and duration of drought conditions, farmers, more so smallholder farmers, are looking for new ways to ensure that their harvests are secured against unpredictable rains.
The importance of research is that it is through technologies either borrowed from outside or developed from within, they are evaluated before they are taken to farmers, or before they are disseminated to farmers, or before they are applied by farmers. They are evaluated and every challenge eliminated, and the farmer takes it up and uses it to increase his profit and also increase the water and other resource. Then research that has been carried out by NIB is what we call operational research or applied research.
The objectives of research in irrigation are technology development, policy development, optimization of resource use, and capacity development. These objectives are achieved through technology demonstration, training and collaboration with various research and irrigation industry players.
Kuna ugonjwa ilikuja hapa ya rice blast. Ilifanyia utafiti kwa MIAD, wakatuandikia kitambo ya kusoma vile na water so that you are able to spray your rice and you don't lose a crop, because rice blast is a dangerous disease. Inaweza kumaliza mkulima. Ilifanywa tu hapo MIAD. Ukipanda mbegu ya MIAD compared na mtu anatoa ile alikuwa amepanda bereni, you get a different production. Hiyo ni kitu tumefanya na tumeona.
National Irrigation Board Research Unit's main centers are Mwea Irrigation Agricultural Development, MIAD, which takes care of the eastern region, and Ahero Irrigation Research Station, taking care of the western region.
To start with, we have research programs, which is the main mandate actually of the institution, which are geared towards farm operation. We also carry out seed production. We have a model farm within the institution. We have a section that deals with the production of rice seed for not only Mwea irrigation scheme, but also Western Kenya schemes, that is Ahero, West Kano, and Bunyala.
26.
This is the main research station that spearheads all the activities that are located in the region, comprising Mwea, Bura, Hola, Kibwezi, and all those clusters that are being opened up, including Rapsu and Usweni. MIAD Center was established in early 90s through a technical cooperation between the government of Kenya and Japan.
Well, the main collaborator was JICA, the Japanese government. We had also AGRI, a major collaborator. We had also ICAD, African Institute for Capacity Development. We also, in one way or the other, the Ministry of Agriculture.
Ahero Center coordinates research activities in the Western Kenya region, such as Ahero, West Kano, Bunyala, Pekera, Katilu, and Lokubai. These schemes have many outlying community-based irrigation projects. In addition, several other projects that are coming up in the region include Lower Kuja, Lower Sio, and Shisenye projects. The research by NIB is organized in various ways and has made great achievements. We carry out research in mechanization, including on-farm implements, in order to maximize labor. Labor requires skill and efficiency in order to maximize productivity. One of our achievements is the use of a drum seeder to reduce the cost of rice farming. Another is the introduction of rice combine harvesters, which reduce cost of labor and grain loss, thus increasing farmers' income. We live in a country that is deficient of water, yet we require water for irrigation, domestic use, livestock, and also for other uses. So how do we use this water efficiently so that other activities can get their share?
Been used to carrying out or practicing in the respective regions in the country that are not in tandem with the changing climatic conditions. As the water gets more and more scarce, we need to improve efficiency. So therefore, we may find that the practices that we were using there before are getting more and more uneconomical. So we are also in that experiment, also besides demonstrating the alternative crops, we are also demonstrating the efficiency and effectiveness of different methods of irrigation. We have got drip irrigation system, we have furrow irrigation system, we have got sprinkler irrigation system.
One of the challenges that we've been having as a scheme has been the lack of water, which we are progressively handling. We've just finished the rehabilitation of the scheme where we have improved the canals. This particular project was aimed towards improving water management, reducing the losses that we were experiencing after the scheme degenerated during the time when we had the scheme being run by farmers on their own. So we have restored most of that infrastructure. And with that, we are now seeing more water being available for production.
We also carry out research on soils. Intensively irrigated soils undergo rapid degradation. The development of an electronic soil database aims at using information technology to enhance the management of irrigated soils for sustainable productivity of irrigation schemes. Why soils? It is the foundation on which we are going to put the crops. So you need to establish the condition before you start irrigation to monitor any changes that occur in the soil over time. Soil and irrigation water quality monitoring is important for sustainable management of these resources in the irrigation schemes. Together with collaborators, we are carrying out research on utilization of rice husks and maize cob as biochar for increased water use, efficiency, and improved soil.
Essentially, this is a study on rice husks that has been carbonized and then used as a soil amendment product to improve the soil workability of the soil, and then also water retention capabilities of rice husks that otherwise could have gone into waste.
In my research, I'm looking at the ability of this biochar to retain water in the soil for longer time, because in the arsals it is known that the evaporation rate is extremely high. It's normally more than 2 in most arsals of Kenya. But we are blessed to have also a lot of water, irrigation water in our arsals. So we'd like to see how biochar can help in retention of this, because we have all the same the upland downstream water use. And we have water use associations which are very strong. And you find the downstream fellows don't always get enough water.
NIB has equipped laboratories both in Miad and Ahero centers for analysis of soil, plant and water quality. NIB therefore provides irrigation advisory services through analysis of water, soil and plant samples. Farmers are then advised on types and quantities of fertilizers to use and best practices for optimum productivity of soil and water resources. NIB has funded research on system of rice intensification, SRI rice. SRI is a technique of growing rice using relatively younger seedlings, that is 8 to 14 days after sowing, line transplanting, fewer seedling density, and less irrigation water.
Najua bereni tulikuwa inaneka unapanda 25 kg ya begu. Na lezi na nursery 25 kg unapanda kwa eka. Sasa SRI ikaja naye na unapanda tu 5 kg. Saa ingine hata inabaki. Sababu inabidi upande 1 plant per till, 1 plant per till. Natumia begu kidogo na production bado inakuja higher and the quality ya hiyo mshere bado ni better.
Rice schemes lose a lot of fertilizers applied to the rice crop using the broadcasting method. The losses occur through vaporization and seepage, once dissolved in water. In order to address this, UDP, which is a technique of applying fertilizer by placing urea deep in the plant root zone, has been demonstrated. The test crop had higher yield and better grain quality. If adopted, the techniques will lead to reduced fertilizer costs, higher yields, and reduced environmental degradation.
I used urea, I used sulfate, and I used another type of fertilizer, which is almost like urea. So I divided the farm into 3 sections. The ones I used granules are better than the ones I used just pure sulfate. So the yield is different, and I think, but they will be better.
Greenhouses therefore provide the opportunity to enhance food production from small land area. The study on the promotion of greenhouse technology adoption aims at upscaling the adoption of the technology in the region. In addition, the monitoring of the scheme's production activities aims at determining the actual production levels with a view to advising the farmers on the best management practices for improved yields. Collaboration with partners and institutions of higher learning to offer operational research on emerging concerns continues. In Pekera, most farmers grow maize seed, but there has been trials on alternative crops. One was on evaluation of Irish potatoes and irrigation. In addition, the scheme had performance evaluation trials on irrigated sweet potatoes. The indications to date is that the crop will do well and become a strategic food security crop.
Research on alternative crops that are basically meant to improve the household nutritional requirements. And we started our trials there and in research are focused on evaluating the performance of sweet potato varieties. We have also introduced tissue cultured banana production, still at research level, and we have also introduced irrigated pawpaw production, as well as vegetables like watermelons, sukuma wiki, and green grams. Farmers are also carrying out sorghum production. Again, this is for basically enhancing household food security.
All in all, research generates information in order to create new or add value to existing knowledge. The knowledge is then used to make informed decisions on development.
AIC.
Find us on www.nib.or.ke, on Twitter or Facebook.